Hey y'all, it's Zach McDonald, your real estate agent with Real Property Associates. And today we're gonna talk about buying a house in Seattle in 2023. And we're gonna look specifically at price and affordability. And a lot of that's tied into interest rates. And as I think about buying in 2023, and this is going to be similar in other housing markets as well across the country, especially the higher price markets, what we're looking at and expecting is to see interest rates stay in the sixes. And that is some of the new data from Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, the two largest insurers of mortgages. Their original thoughts were that we would see rates getting into the upper fours, low fives by Q2, Q3 of next year, which would then put a lot more upward pressure on the housing market. But as we're seeing some of their newer data and studying that and looking at that, they're predicting that we might see rates staying in the mid to upper sixes throughout 2023. So what that means is that we're probably not going to see any massive rush of new home buyers. Now, the housing market has in Seattle been relatively stable here over the past few months as we've seen fewer and fewer houses coming on the market, and we're still seeing the same buyer activity. So some of that inventory that's been building up, which still isn't a lot, historically speaking, has been diminishing. But as we head into 2023, we will see more new listings and we'll start to see that spring and summer push for people wanting to sell their houses. And there is a seasonality to the housing market, and that's typically when we're going to see the largest number of listings. But as we head into that time, we're still going to be in this climate where we have higher interest rates, higher than we've had in any spring selling season in a while. And we're also going to have some of those same fears or concerns over inflation. Even though we've had some more positive news as of late, I still suspect that we're going to be in this same boat here heading into 2023. So we will see in 2023 most likely some of those negative year-over-year numbers, right? When we look at real estate, year-over-year is the best comparison. It helps take into account the seasonality of real estate. But as we hit to the spring, we're going to see those negative numbers, and we're also going to have those higher rates most likely as we're heading into the spring. So I think looking at 2023 as a buyer, if I was thinking about buying a house, the price is going to be the best part about 2023 and buying in 2023. Prices are down anywhere from 12 to 15% or more, depending on where you're looking in King or Snohomish County, in the general Seattle Bellevue area. And that's a great opportunity for buyers, right? On the one hand, the price. But the tougher part is the affordability. The interest rates are higher, and they probably will be, and that's just a fact. But people still need to buy and sell houses, and specifically, they need a place to live. So as we're looking at it, the benefit is, yay, the prices are better. But the downside is, well, rates aren't as great. So it does make homes more expensive, even then if you would have paid more with a lower rate, right? So some of the people that you might know as you're watching this video, or maybe if you did buy, you might have paid more but had a way lower rate. So your monthly payment's actually going to be less than somebody with a lower price and higher rate. However, if you are able to purchase, again, that's an if, and the amount of pressure that these higher rates puts on finances is real. But if you are able to get a house with a better price now, then at some point, and we were thinking maybe that would be 6 to 12 months, maybe it's now 12 to 18 months range for the better mortgages back into the fours. That's when you're going to be able to refinance and get out of that higher payment, but also capitalize on that great price. So then you have the best of both worlds, so to speak. But as we're looking at 2023, that's still a big burden as we think about the additional cost. So what are some of the things that we are doing or talking about right now that I can share with you? And that's really what I wanted to do here today, is first of all, let you know, I think 2023 price is going to be the main focus. So if you're thinking, you know what, I want to get a better price. I don't want to compete with buyers. I don't want to remove contingencies. I want to be able to buy a house on my terms. Well, that's 2023. That's been the back half of 2022, and it will be 2023. If you're not hey, I want to compete with everybody. I'm going to win. I'm going to get a house no matter what it costs. If that's how you want to compete, then those people were in the market earlier in the year. And more recently, we've seen that shift to where the buyers have a lot more negotiating power. Now, I wouldn't suspect that we're going to see a buyer's market. And buyer's market is typically going to be in that 4 to 6 month of inventory window or more, where there's just so much on the market that people just want to get their house sold. And we have not gotten to that point yet. I don't think we will get to that point even in the spring, but buyers will have a lot more equity and possibly an advantage in some of the negotiations. And so that's the benefit to buying. And one of the things we've been talking about right now are mortgage rate buy downs. And the way those work is you're able to, whether you do it or the seller does it, and a lot of times right now, the sellers have been willing to help buyers out by paying to buy down their rate. But the way the buy down works is you're able to have a lower interest rate for the first, second, potentially third year, depending on how that buyout's structured, so that that payment is actually lower for you. And at some point, that rate does go back up to the market rate that we have now, but you're able to, at that point, refinance into a different loan, hopefully over that window of time, whether that's in the first year, second year, or even third year, depending on the program. And if rates come down faster, a lot of times you're able to roll in that money into paying down the principal or something like that. So again, the buy down, mortgage rate buy down is a great option that people are using right now. And we've had clients use that to be able to take advantage of lower prices, but also keep their expenses down. Now again, that doesn't work in every situation, but a house that's been sitting on the market for a little while and the seller is willing to negotiate, that's where some of those things work better. The other option right now people are utilizing is an adjustable rate mortgage to get a better rate for the moment. Now, I am more of a fan of a fixed rate mortgage, just personally and philosophically, especially if you can get the seller to help with some kind of a buy down and pay that rate down for you. Again, the adjustable rate mortgage does come with some of that volatility, but it does usually allow for you to get a better rate right now as well in this market climate. So those would be a couple of the things that buyers are doing right now to get themselves a better rate for the purchase, but also take advantage of the price. So as we're looking at 2023, I think for a buyer in Seattle and some of these higher price markets, if you can afford to purchase, you are going to benefit from getting a better price. Now, do we know exactly what's going to happen to prices? No, I don't have a crystal ball, and I wish I really did because it would make my life a lot easier and some of these videos a lot easier. But I have to just be honest and live within that tension of, with the data that I see and what I've observed and the patterns that I'm seeing, I think that prices are probably going to go up even heading into the spring. We'll probably see higher prices than we see right now in Seattle, Bellevue, and a lot of the surrounding areas. But I don't expect them to be anywhere near what they were like in the spring. And a lot of that is due to the interest rates. When we officially are into that recession, and I feel like we already are, but once we hit that point where the government's like, okay, yeah, it's a recession, we've finally done it, I think we're going to start to see those rates coming back down, and we're going to see the housing market rebounding, especially in this area, fairly quickly. So again, these are my thoughts here as we're wrapping up 2022 and looking into 2023. I'll have some more predictions for the market and such here over the next few weeks, but I wanted to just share a few thoughts about price. I think price is the big opportunity for home buyers in 2023. So for those of you that maybe were looking or thinking about buying in 2022, you might have been thinking interest rates is the opportunity, right? People were saying, yeah, the prices are high, but you're going to get a great interest rate. And if you look at the numbers over 30 years, it's going to be great. You're going to be glad you did it. Right now, we can look at the market and say prices are much better. It's really easy to see that, and people are experiencing that. The unfortunate parts are that rates are higher, but you can get a better rate. You can refinance your rate when mortgages are lower. You cannot refinance the price. So somebody that bought for, let's just say, $1.5 million with a 3% interest rate, they're probably not getting a better interest rate, and they're definitely not getting a new price. But if you bought for 1.25, that same house, which is a reality right now, and you have a higher interest rate, it may cost you more in the short term to have that mortgage but in the long run, you're going to be able to get a better rate and you'll have a lower mortgage and also a better payment. So that's again how I'm looking at 2023. I'm personally looking at buying a bigger house. So if you have a house that is in the Edmonds area that you know about, that has a pool or a cool view, let me know. But I'm personally looking at 2023 as an opportunity. I wanted to share some of these thoughts with you. Thanks so much for watching this video, and really one of my first prediction videos of 2023. I really love talking about the market and the stats here, but ultimately I love talking with people like you who subscribe to the channel and want to get a little bit more personalized thoughts. So if you have questions for me or you want to talk about the market or your situation, I do help people buy and sell houses in the Seattle, Bellevue metro area. So if you want to have conversations with me about that and your situation, I'd love to be a resource for you.